Yo, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. Today we're going to be talking about a specific melee weapon type, which I would consider to be the best melee weapon type in the game. But regardless of my opinion, they are without a doubt one of the best melee weapons in the game. And there are certain options you can pair these melee weapons with to make them the broken melee weapons that they are. And the weapons I'm talking about, of course, are none other than EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S. If you don't have one already, get one. Stop what you're doing, stop watching this video, go to Google, look up EXODIA Contagion ZAW Warframe, and go get one right now. I'll have a more in-depth video on how to build your own ZAW coming out soon. But if you don't know how to build your own ZAW, I got a video right here. In this video, I go over ZAWs in general, why they're so good, how you can get one for yourself, the process of building them, and all the requirements you need. So if you don't know how to build an EXODIA Contagion ZAW, I highly recommend checking out that video. But let's cut to the chase. Why are these weapons some of the best melee weapons in the game? Simple. They are a melee weapon with a projectile attack that gets a 300% damage buff after that projectile travels over 30 meters. Now don't get it wrong, cutting your enemies in half is one of the most satisfying things you can do in this game, but the more techniques you can develop for your melee weapon, the better it can be, right? Not only can you make an EXODIA Contagion ZAW a hack and slash weapon if you really want to, but once you actually get your hands on that EXODIA Contagion ZAW build, you won't need that hack and slash. You can simply just jump, throw out a projectile, and every single enemy is dead from one shot, one swing, dead, gone, goodbye, hundreds of millions. How is this possible? Well, my friends, that's because EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S are not your average melee weapon. You don't just go to the market, get the blueprint for this weapon, and then build it. Quite a similar process, yes, but it's not that exact one, so it's a little different, which means these weapons require more work for you to actually get that high damage you seek. So there are actually 3 different parts that make up a ZAW: the strike, the grip, and the link. You'll need each of these parts if you're looking to build your own ZAW. The strikes of the ZAW will actually determine what your weapon looks like, and it also determines the weapon's damage distribution, critical chance, critical damage, and status chance. The grip of the ZAW determines the weapon's base attack speed, and whether your ZAW will be a one-handed ZAW or a two-handed ZAW. And then the links are decorations for the ZAW that actually have multiple stat bonuses, as well as their own corresponding penalties. Choose wisely when picking your ZAW parts. There are literally over 1,000 different ZAW combinations you can make with all these parts. And again, if you're not really sure which part you should pick and what kind of weapon you should build, I got a video about ZAWs that talks more about that, which of course is linked in the description. One thing you've probably noticed is that I've been calling these EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S, yet ZAW'S are only made up of 3 parts. If you already know about ZAW'S, you already know what time it is, but for those who don't know, EXODIA Contagion is the must-have arcane for your ZAW. Of course, just like every other melee weapon, ZAW'S also have an arcane slot, and EXODIA Contagion is the arcane that should always be on your ZAW no matter what, if you're looking to do that peak damage, and also if you're looking to throw out that projectile. And that's because EXODIA Contagion straight up gives the ZAW the projectile attack. To actually perform the projectile attack, you have to jump or bullet jump. Then while you're in the air, you want to aim glide, which is just simply aiming while you're in the air. And after you do the air melee attack while you're aim gliding, you will then throw out an EXODIA Contagion projectile that again gets a 300% damage boost after it travels 30 meters. It does have to be over 30 meters for you to get that 300% boost, but even without the 30 meters, you still get the EXODIA Contagion ZAW projectile. And you don't even need the 30 meters to do 100 million damage solo with this weapon. Of course, that is with a certain build, but nonetheless, solo, 100 million damage, one swing, without the 30 meters. Could you imagine that extra damage boost on top of that? So how do you actually get that 100 million solo damage build with an EXODIA Contagion ZAW? Now, I'm specifically going to be talking about the way I hit 100 million solo. I'm sure there are other methods out there to do it in the game, of course, but if you want the simple answer, pair your EXODIA Contagion ZAW with the Warframe Chroma or Chroma Prime. This absolute legend right here is my main Warframe, and let me tell you why. EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S are my absolute favorite way to play the game. I love melee weapons more than primaries and secondaries, and EXODIA Contagion sit at the top of all of the other melee weapons for me. They're my absolute favorite weapons in the game, and pairing them with my favorite Warframe Chroma is not only a dream come true for me, but can also be a dream come true for you if you're looking to do that insane amount of damage. And let me tell you why. You see, the amazing thing about Chroma and EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S is that Chroma actually has 2 abilities that can give EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S a multiplicative base damage buff. One of these abilities is his most iconic ability, which is Vex Armor. This ability is straight up my favorite ability in the game. And that's because with this ability, Chroma enters a state of rage. While this ability is active, any damage Chroma takes to his shields give him a buff called Scorn, which increases his armor. And any damage dealt to Chroma's health gives him a buff called Fury, which increases the base damage of his weapons and abilities. You can also increase the Scorn buff by getting melee kills, and you can increase the Fury buff by getting ranged weapon kills. The Fury buff with Vex Armor is the buff that's going to give your EXODIA Contagion ZAW a multiplicative base damage buff. And the best part about Vex Armor, the higher your ability strength is with Chroma, the higher the Fury buff will be. And the other Chroma ability that can actually give you a multiplicative base damage buff is Toxin Elemental Ward. Now this ability is not going to give you as much of a multiplicative damage buff as Vex Armor. You only get the buff with holster damage, which is only activated for a short amount of time, especially on my build. My build, I only have it activated for 2 seconds because of the mod setup I got on my Chroma, but this mod setup works for me really well. But on top of a good Chroma build, of course your EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S gotta have a good build too. I'd like to think my EXODIA Contagion mod setup's pretty decent, especially because I got a Riven mod that makes this weapon even better. As the saying goes, Riven mods can take your weapon to another level, and yeah, that's absolutely true for EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S. And yeah guys, that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. Keep in mind, I only showed off one of my ZAW'S in this video, which is my Nakana type ZAW. It's my absolute favorite ZAW in the game, and it can do some absolute crazy damage as you have seen, but there are so many other different ZAW combinations out there, and I'm definitely planning to make more ZAW videos in the future, so be on the lookout for them. I got some footage of me going through a Netrocell with my EXODIA Contagion ZAW build, and I'm gonna go ahead and let that footage play out, and I hope you enjoy. And I think, yep, we're here at the Netrocell. I didn't even go to all 3 terminals. Let's go. Now, it's time for some absolute destruction. Go ahead and see how much damage we're rocking with all 3 buffs active. Let's see. 2 mil. Whatever that was. Bullet jump, air glide, air melee, destruction. Like, that's all there is to it. Apparently the Necromite's over here somewhere. I think he's under here. Yep. And yeah, let's just proceed with the cooking. Mink, 3 million. 37 million. 48 million. If you ever wanted to be a casual, badass space pirate swordsman, well, look no further than EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S. 40 million, one single swing, by the way. Then 20 million. Oh, what we got right here? 33 million. My fault, OG. Didn't know you didn't have that much health. Let me double back around here. Activate this buff. Activate that buff. Bing. Okay, we're just cooking up. 94 million, dude. I am so close to that 100 mil. How much? What? I think that was it. 100 million. I think that was 119 million. Let's go. Oh, 105 million right there. Back to back. Stop playing. That's what I'm talking about, dude. And yeah, you guys get the point. EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S are absolutely busted. Go ahead and reactivate all these abilities, though. Use the alternate fire. I'm a bullet jump away. Throw the EXODIA over there, and I didn't even see how much damage that was. But all I see is destruction. Sometimes you'll do 1 million, sometimes you'll do 100,000, sometimes you'll do 100 million. But at the end of the day, it's all destruction. And yeah, with that being said, the Netrocell is done. I highly recommend you get what you need to get this build going for yourself. This is my absolute favorite build in the entire game. All I need is my EXODIA Contagion ZAW for the Chroma, and yeah, I'm having a blast. Y'all could have not given me a melee arcane at that point. Come on now, y'all could have given me something else. And yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. Let me know how y'all feel about EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S down below. As I've said multiple times in the video, they are my favorite way to play this game. I love melee weapons, and EXODIA Contagion ZAW'S are just the peak of melee weapons in my personal opinion. Also, if you got a ZAW build that you really like, feel free to let me know what that build is down below. And yeah, guys, that's going to be it for me. Keep your head up, stay positive, and with that being said, thanks for watching.